Hello and welcome back to the Infinity Corner of the Internet. I'm your host, Caleb Lane, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Peppa Pig theories. Peppa Pig is a children's show that focuses on Peppa Pig, her brother George, and Mummy, and Daddy Pig. Starting us off at number 10, we have the hills. Ever wonder why all the characters in the show live on hills? Everyone's house is on a hill, and so is their school. But why? This theory suggests that either Daddy Pig is to blame for the architecture or that the town is prone to flooding. Wow. Moving straight on to number 9, we have Mrs. Rabbit. First off, why does Mrs. Rabbit do all the jobs, at least most of them? During the show's run, Mrs. Rabbit has been shown to do such jobs as a nurse, bus driver, train driver, and more. But why? Why does she have so many jobs? One theory suggests that there are not just one but multiple Mrs. Rabbits. Another theory for this matter suggests that Mrs. Rabbit is actually a clone. Next up at number 8, we have the other animals. Why are there regular animals? Most of the show's characters can speak and walk on two legs. So why are there still regular animals? This theory suggests that only mammals get to be human-like. Birds, fish, and reptiles do not and are forced to remain mere animals. Next at 7, we have the same size. Why are all the animals the same size? A theory suggests that Peppa Pig is actually set in a post-apocalyptic world where humans have been wiped out by nuclear war. The animals decided not to get involved in the war and survived. However, they mutated as a result of the radiation. Like literally, apparently Peppa Pig is like 7 feet tall, and Daddy Pig is like 14 feet tall. I know, mind blown. Moving up the list at number 6, we have the grandparents. Ever wonder where Peppa's other set of grandparents are? Only Mummy Pig's parents are ever seen in the show. So where are the other grandparents? One theory is that Daddy Pig's parents actually dead. Another is that he hates his parents, and yet another is that Mummy Pig and her family don't approve of Daddy Pig's parents, which is why we don't see them in the show. Halfway there at number 5, we have the same class. Okay, this one literally blew my mind, not in a crazy way, but like when you get to thinking about it. Why are Peppa and George in the same class? Their ages are way different, so why are they in the same class? Some people might argue that it isn't a school, but it's actually a playgroup, which is why all the kids are lumped together. But there are two answers to this. Firstly, that place is far too structured to be a playgroup. I've worked, and what Peppa and George go to is a school. This is demonstrated by the fact that all the kids sit there behaving and listening to the teacher. They actually learn things instead of fighting over the sandpit and doing a wee in the corner of the room than trying to cover it up. Secondly, it is referred to as a school on several occasions, most notably whenever something out of the ordinary is taking place, such as the school play. The most likely explanation for this is that the creators wanted to introduce the children viewing to the idea of going to do something like a school, and this was the simplest way to do it. They pulled the same trick in Rainbow when Zippy, George, and Bungle all started playgroup together. Even though in other episodes Bungle was left to look after the others when Jeffrey went out, meaning Bungle must have been some sort of teenager. Once again, we're putting way too much thought into this. At number 4, we have Death Part 1. And before we start, I'm just going to warn you guys, this one gets dark. While not an actual theory, this suggests that all the pigs and the other animals are all dead. Time to ruin your childhood. On the social storytelling platform, Wattpad was written by Yuki Suzuki, who dreamt up the bleak and disturbing story that Peppa was a sickly child by who was killed by her tormented parents. Peppa was never a healthy child. She was usually ill and spent her short life in a hospital bed. One night, Peppa's parents decided it would be best if they, you know. So that night, Peppa fell asleep and she was injected with a poison, thus killing her. This caused Peppa to want to be a fairy, as her last dream was about fairies. This is where it gets. You thought that was dark? This gets even darker. Yuki also alleged that Daddy Pig, consumed by the grief over his daughter's death, let's just say Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig, and their son George is no more. Now, what about Peppa's best friend Susie Sheep? She didn't escape the bleak black backstory, as she suggested that the little sheep was knocked down and killed. That by an oncoming truck driven by postman Mr. Zebra while out riding her bike. And that's why in some episodes she's wearing a nurse's outfit. The author's brutal alternative of Peppa Pig continues as she writes that Danny Dog and Granddad Dog were killed in a tragic boating accident, while Mummy Dog died in a tragedy at the garage owned by Granddad Dog. At number 3, we have Death Part 2. Up next is Pedro Pony, who Yuki alleged was a geek who was bullied by his classmates in school when one day the bullying got out of hand. Pedro, best known for being late and always losing his glasses in the show, was brutally drowned by his classmates. As for the others, Madame Gazelle was killed along with her pupils in a fire in the classroom during a baking lesson. Chloe Pig ended it after her parents failed to get her a present she wanted, and Grandpa Pig died alone in his garden as he was crushed by Peppa's treehouse. What a horrible way to go, crushed by a treehouse. Up next, at number 2, we're taking a little bit of a break from the horror, and we have this theory that George is adopted. Why is George the only one without the same letter in their first and last name? Like Peter Pig or Patrick Pig, he's George Pig. Well, this theory suggests that he was actually adopted and Mummy and Daddy Pig are not his biological parents, which would really explain a lot. And finally, at number 1, we have YouTube horror episodes. S- Some cursed episodes of the show have been uploaded to YouTube. One involves Peppa trying bacon. Yeah, I know. Oh, and by the way, she likes it so much she eats her family, then eats herself. Another shows Daddy Pig going on a killing spree with Mummy Pig's chopped off head on the table. Yuck, and I'm done. I don't want to do this again. So there you have it. That was the top 10 scary Peppa Pig theories. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, bye bye.